Sometimes the most challenging and difficult times in our life can end up being our greatest blessings. It all depends on our perspective. Hi everyone, Chris Natzke here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of the Champion tip of the week. I was thinking about this recently that so much of how we look at our lives has to do with how we judge things as either being good or being bad. We had a good experience. We had a bad experience. We had things that worked out the ways that we wanted them to. We had things that didn't work out the way we initially planned. And so we view them as bad versus being good. But again, so much of that has to do with our perspective, particularly when we are able to look at things after they occur and see how they actually impacted our lives. It always reminds me of this story of an attorney who's in Southern California. He's in Orange County, and he gets done with a client. He's running a little bit late, and now he has to drive to meet with a brand new client up near LAX. Now, for those of you that have ever been to Southern California, I lived there for about 4 years, that could be a 45-minute drive or it could be a couple hours. It all depends on traffic. So the attorney blasts into his car, and he's cruising ahead thinking everything is great. He's got Hootie the Blowfish blasting on his stereo, and the common speed is around 75 miles per hour, and he thinks he's going to make it there right on time. But then all of a sudden it happens. He looks in his rearview mirror, and you know it. There's the California Highway Patrol spinning their lights and pulling him over. Now, when he gets pulled over, the police officer gets off of his motorcycle and walks up very slowly to the car and then says, registration and license, please. And so he collects it and walks slowly back to his motorcycle. And then he comes back. And the attorney says, sir, no disrespect, but I was going the same speed as everyone else. And the chippy just literally signs the ticket, rips it off, and hands him a ticket for $250 and says, thank you, sir. Have a safe day. Well, now the attorney is looking at his watch and he's thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so late if traffic is slow, but I'll tell you what, I think I can still make it. So he gets on. Now he's cruising at 55, but he thinks he can finally make it. But then all of a sudden, the second thing happens. Traffic comes to a complete stop. Oh my gosh, 6 lanes of traffic going north. No one is moving anywhere. And now he knows he's not going to be able to make his appointment. And he literally slams his fists on the steering wheel. And then that's followed by his forehead pounding on it a couple of times. And he knows he's going to lose this new client. Well, anyway, he turns on the radio to have at least one degree of solace. Maybe he can understand what's going on. And that's when he hears the traffic report. And the traffic report basically says is that just up ahead, maybe about 5 miles ahead, there has been an absolutely awful car crash where, dozens of cars have gone into, a bumper to bumper crash because of something that occurred ahead. And then it occurs to the attorney. Had he not been stopped by the ticket, he most likely would have been right in the middle of that multi-car pileup. So then the question remains. The question to ask himself is, was the ticket good or was the ticket bad? So many of us in our lives have things that happen, and when they first occur to us, we just lament the fact that we're going through difficulties, that we're maybe disparaged, that maybe things didn't work out the way we planned. But then we look at them in retrospect and see that they were sometimes some of the best things that ever happened to us. The job we got let go of, which leads us to the fact that we open up our own business and now we're thriving. The relationship that ended, and as painful as it was, it allowed us to grow in ways that we never thought we could. Or the health scare that we get that makes us totally change how we look at that element of our life. I know that things aren't always easy. I know that I'm going through difficulties all the time. But the one thing I have learned is that most of the time, everything, and I mean everything, is working out for our highest good. So, what are you looking at this week? Where do you have a challenge that you're currently facing that if you change your perspective on it, particularly based on the past, you know that it's something that's going to turn out for your highest good. So there you have, my friends. Go out there. Look at things a little bit differently this week and see if there's a way that just that simple change in perception can get you on another path to exactly where you need to be. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Chris Natzke with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching. We'll see you next time on the Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week.